All right, let's talk lavender, because lavender is something that you will love when it's growing fresh. You'll love it when you dry it and you make little potpourri sachets out of it, and you're using it to decorate your home as well as beautify and fragrance your home. This is beautiful. It's from Cottage Farms, a 3-piece lavender live plant set. Now, ordinarily priced at $34.98. It's also on free shipping and handling and 3 easy payments. 2,500 of these have been ordered this season. So a lot of you are looking to grow your own lavender and then perhaps letting it dry and then using it for all of its beautiful fragrant properties. This is something so beautiful as it is when it's growing. It's even more beautiful when it's fragrancing our homes and our drawers and all the areas where we're wanting to place some of the dried flowers. Let's welcome back Alan, who is our horticulturist. Alan, for people who are not familiar with the kind of work you do, why don't you explain a little bit about the kind of work you do? What is your background?
Well, I have a master's in ornamental horticulture, and through my career, I can just consider myself a plant grower. So I've grown a lot of plants in greenhouses, in the ground, in nurseries and containers, and I've done a lot of plant trialing where I've evaluated plants and tried to pick the best plants that could come to the market or use on display. So it's a lot of plant growing and a lot of gardening, and I'm just a plant geek, so it's perfect for me.
Oh, well, we're thrilled to have your guidance and we're thrilled to have your education today. It's a real pleasure to have you with us. And you're doing a great job so far, so keep it up, my friend. So let's talk about lavender. Lavender is something that is so versatile. It looks so beautiful when it's blooming, but then, of course, it smells so good at the same time, right?
Oh, right. It's like having aromatherapy in your garden, you know, just the smell of lavender is so relaxing. I like to have lavender planted near my pathway so I can kind of brush by it when I'm going into the house, or I could plant it in a pot by my door that may be waist high, so we don't even have to bend down while I'm unlocking my door. I can just get into my lavender and smell that beautiful fragrance, and it will follow me around for a few hours.
And when we're planting this, there is a growing guide that comes along with it. Give us the skinny on growing lavender. Does it do better in container pots, better in the ground? Does it really matter?
You can plant it in a container. You can see these plants are beautiful in containers, so they do really well in containers. Or you could plant it in the ground. Now, where lavender grows naturally, it's in the south of France. You can envision all the beautiful fields of lavender. It's very hilly terrain, you know, soft, undulating mounds of earth. And the soil's very sharp and sandy and well drained. So it likes that kind of environment. It likes well drained soil. So do not plant it in an area where the water will puddle and it will be in standing water. It needs a lot of air on its roots. So in a container, it's very easy to control the water. You can water it when it's dry and it won't become waterlogged. But remember, put that hole in the bottom of the pot because you don't want those roots to rot. And in the ground, it fares well too, as long as it doesn't have the wet feet. You can plant it in a rock garden with really gravelly soil. And it could be a plant you use in a troubled area. Maybe you have a garden that doesn't have very good soil. It has, you know, very rocky, very sandy soil. Maybe there's been construction or you just have naturally sandy soil where the water drains freely. The lavender would love that. So that would be a great opportunity for you to plant lavender in a place where other plants don't really thrive.
Now, let's talk a little bit about water and sun with lavender plants. Now, you had mentioned that they like a little aeration with their roots, but what about sunshine?
They love full sun. So this is a plant that needs full sun. If you look at the lavender leaves, they're kind of a grayish color. Anytime you have a kind of a grayish color on the leaves, that means the plant is used to bright light, and maybe the bright light is so bright it needs to protect itself a little bit. So that gray color is actually a little bit of sunscreen for it so that the lavender leaves don't burn itself, but definitely full sun. So about 6 hours of sun a day would be great.
Now, we're going to include a growing guide that will take you step by step on how best to grow your lavender. This is what we're going to ship. We're going to ship a live plant. How long before we're going to see beautiful lavender blooms?
So you'll probably see lavender blooms by early summer, and it's a small plant. Now, these larger containers, I'm going to let you in on a little trick. If you want this container a little early, this container is probably 2 years old.
Okay.
If you want a container to grow more quickly, you can plant all 3 plants together in the same container, and it will grow 3 times as fast. So by the end of the summer, you'd have a plant that looks like it's been growing 2 years in your container. So you're talking about competition. You could have a competition with your neighbor to see who grows the fastest lavender.
Now, at the end of the growing season, is it good to harvest all the blooms and let them dry so we can use them for their fragrance?
You can totally do that if you'd like to, and you can harvest them throughout the season. One great thing about lavender is the more you harvest it, the more it grows. So if you trim these blooms and dry them, use them for potpourris, the plant will have more space for more blooms. So the more you trim it, the more it will grow, and you'll actually rejuvenate it. So you can cut lavender through the whole season.
And how long typically should we let lavender dry before we use it for things like potpourri and for sachets?
I would say if you let them dry hanging upside down, maybe 3 or 4 weeks, and then they should be dry enough to use for whatever needs you have them for.
And then you just kind of rub them in between your hands and they all kind of fall apart, and then you can put them in little bags. You can use them as potpourri. It's really, really fragrant and lovely. What we want everyone to know is that this is something that you can plant and you can be successful with. Alan is going to provide you with a growing guide, so it's almost like he's in your garden with you, taking you step by step. And maybe you've never grown lavender before. You love lavender, you love how it looks, you love how it smells, but you're wondering, can I really grow this in my own neck of the woods? Alan, this is designed to be grown in every part of the country, is that right?
Right. It's hardy in most parts of the country. The very, very north parts of the country might be a little difficult. You might have to give it extra protection in the winter, but this is a plant you can grow in most areas of the country. So give it a try. It's great fragrance. It's like aromatherapy. It makes you feel good, and you should get blooms the first summer so you can have, lovely lavender. Just don't be afraid to try it.
So, Alan, let's also talk about the Cottage Farms guarantee, because I think for a lot of people, if they are beginner gardeners, they want to know that they've got a little guarantee backing up their purchase. Can you speak to that?
Oh, sure. So Cottage Farms wants you to be happy. So we have a guarantee that all annuals are guaranteed for 90 days. That's pretty much the entire life of the annual. So, those plants are guaranteed, and then perennials are guaranteed for an entire year. So if you're not satisfied for any reason, give Cottage Farm a call and you'll be taken care of. If you're not happy, we're not happy, and we want you to be happy.
Well, we are excited to bring you a full hour of Gardening Made Easy by Cottage Farms. Now, it's the 24th day of March? And spring has officially sprung, and many areas of the country are dealing with warmer weather. I saw a lot of people out walking yesterday on my drive home, and so it won't be